This is my very first prototype of the Ferrari 488 GTE EVO. It is the version that is going to drive at Le Mans this year. And the reason why I'm making this prototype video before the actual car is finished is so that you can come with critique and comments in order for me to improve the car before I make building instructions. As usual, I will make these free building instructions that everybody can follow in order to build your own. And by improving this car in 2, 3, 4, 5 iterations, we can kind of get a really good result compared to just finishing everything up immediately. So in this video I'm going to show the details of this model and what I think should be improved, and then we're going to tear it down so you can see how it is built. Starting from the front, we have this splitter here. It is supposed to be a little more rounded here in the middle, so I'll see if I can use some 1x2 curved slopes instead here. And you can see the versions from previous year had a little jagged part in the front of the side splitters, so that has been changed this year to be more rounded, and then there's a little aero parts right here that I have not built right now, but we'll see if we can do that on the real car, or the finished model. In the middle we are going to have some white stripes with red and green on the sides that are looking like the Italian flag, and we are of course going to move this number plate up here. I don't know how, but let's see if that is possible in any way. The lights have already gone through a lot of iterations, and I finished with this design right here because I think it kind of follows the idea of the real car with a really thin strip up here and then slowly sloping down to the middle. There are some lights right here and down here which seem to be removed on the latest version, so I'm going to remove those as well. The windscreen is a bit too tall. You can see here from the side that it kind of flows up right there, and if you're seeing it from behind then it looks not so good. So I'm going to see what I can do about that. I'm really glad about the sides. You can see we have the barge boards down here that are curved downwards, and then we have these two lines of slopes that are kind of creating this sloping inwards and upwards, which is kind of cool, and I'll show you how it's done a bit later when we're tearing it down. They're leading to this intake here on the side. We have a flat line here and a horizontal, that is the horizontal line, and the vertical slab right here, so that it recreates the actual intake, although there should be 2 vertical lines, but we'll look into that and see if that can be improved. Right here on the sides we can see that the sloping for the rear wheel guard is kind of mangled together, so I'll see if I can find a better design solution for this, but that is kind of difficult. Moving on to the back, I can see that these lower plates of the diffuser are not present on the latest version, so I'm going to get rid of those and put in some tan parts instead. And apart from that, the rear should be good to go. I just need to change the colors to get the more colorful livery that we can see on the real car. Now it's time to tear it down. And now it's time to tear it down. Let's start with the roof. You can see on the real car it's supposed to have a gentle slope, and in this model we have 3 sections that have been hinged here and here using normal plates, so there's nothing magical about that. The windscreen is a bit more complicated, although it is also residing on these kind of hinges. You can see that it has to be offset by half a plate using a couple of air links like this, which makes it flush with the roof when you're using that kind of hinges. Then we have the sides of the doors. You can see they're sloping inwards and upwards. And if we take a side off, oops, a part of the intake was taken off, then you can see that it is simply built using hinges like this and a hinge here. So this gives you the moving into the bodywork, and the other hinges make so that we are moving upwards. And then I'm using the panel right here in order to overlap with the window on the side so that we don't get any holes in the bodywork. And if we're moving to the front, then you can see by using hinges like this, see if I can move this section here, everything is moved half a plate using, again, air links like this, and these brackets here, and flowers, in order to make sure that when we have the mudguards here going down, they do not intrude into the space of the front wheels, because they are quite big and it's a bit difficult to make the wheel arches. Further on to the front, we have this whole section here is actually one big section connected to the nose. Whoops. Simply put into the bodywork or the frame using hinges. See, these two hinges here. And a bit of snot work makes the front be connected like this, and the headlights here are simply one stud connected to the stud down here. So there's a lot of one stud connections in this car, and I hope to improve that in the next version. As you can see, the hinges for the side barge boards are simply hinged like this, so that we can get this nice triangle part of the bodywork. And moving on to the rear section, if you're just moving the spoiler down, then you can see the rear lights here are moved kind of half a plate backwards compared to the section here. And of course there's just a lot of jumper plates inside. If you're taking this section off here, you can see this section is on jumpers so that the rest can be offset by half a plate, and the rear lights themselves, because this is offset with a jumper, needs to be placed on tiles in order to get the rear lights that are next to they look like air vents in the real car. And down here on the bottom we have the exhausts that are simply lightsaber blades that are held using some handles. This is a simple piece compared to what we saw in the middle of the car. And that's it as far as I can tell with the details of how this car is constructed. So thank you for following, and please tell me if you want to, or if there's anything that you think I should improve on this car that I have not already mentioned, or something that I have mentioned already that you think is really important, then just comment below, or write inside of the Eurobricks thread that I'm also going to post in the description. Thank you.